rotating dinner parties between our two houses, and we invite a couple other couples, and also we have a couple friends that lost their spouses, so they're always invited. And then on some Tuesdays we actually have a midweek worship group that gets together, and we also have a little dinner party then before that. So it's nice. It's nice. It's nice to get together and some friends make new friends or get more acquainted with them. So it's nice. Plus, one of my hobbies is cooking. So what better thing to do than that? You know, practice my cooking skills and enjoy the company. So yeah. What else? What else do we have planned? That's about it. You know, just looking forward to getting to better with the bones there and try to fix their ice maker. Hopefully it's something simple and have dinner. Come back here. Let me get your call right here. One K1 GMM KC2 CKO. Over.
Hey, you can call me anything you want. You won't offend me, Paul. Anyways, what do you do any smoking on the smoker? You do any of that? What do you specialize in? You know, or are you kind of into everything as far as cooking goes? Are you Italian? I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm actually a Polish descent. The name is Kowal, but it was changed from Kowalewski. So there you go. But I enjoy all types of different ethnic foods. My mother was from Germany. She came over to this country when she was 13. So she was a great cook and baker. Oh my goodness. She made, old school, real old school. She made everything from scratch. Nothing came out of a box or can. And my grandfather owned a French restaurant in Brooklyn. So there's probably where the background comes from. So. But yes, in the brick oven, I have made some beef briskets in that a couple times. I've made roast duck. That was one of my more challenging things. You know, the price of ducks are pretty expensive, and I made roast duck with orange sauce, Grand Marnier orange sauce, and that came out absolutely perfect. And actually, some friends of ours that were over last night, she's got a couple ducks in the freezer, and I think I've got one left, and we might have another dinner party and make those in the brick oven too. There you go. We have wonderful times, man. And actually, I tried a beef Wellington. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's a boy. Now, what's the cut of meat? Oh my goodness, a very expensive cut of meat, and it's wrapped in a paste made out of mushrooms, and it's covered with prosciutto ham, and then a puff pastry over the top. So I'm going to have to do another one of those sometime this fall here. So back to you. Hopefully I don't have you salivating. KC2CKO, over.
And K2XAM.
There you go. Join the cooking show, Kevin. Over.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Go ahead, take it.
All right, good morning. Bear with me for a minute here. Let's see if I can tune this antenna up after the snow we had yesterday. Things are there we go, kind of out of whack as to what they typically are. But good morning. Yeah, well, not much cooking for me, although good morning. About 42 degrees here, overcast. Not raining, I think, at least this morning. I don't do an awful lot of cooking. However, I do some occasional cooking here and there and this and that. A couple nights this week, I did cook some chicken in the oven, baked some chicken in the oven, and but I kind of skimped out where I would end up getting a box of stovetop stuffing and using that rather than any real cooking. And then last night I had also asparagus, which I have a little electric steamer. But a couple nights ago when I made it, I had just a can of green beans to go along with it. So not cooking like what Paul does. I used to make lasagna, but I haven't made that in quite a few years. And so forth. And back when I lived in Maine, I was a lot heavier, and my girlfriend didn't really cook. She could cook, but everything she made ended up coming out kind of wrong. She wasn't paying attention usually, and so forth. So this was back in the 80s, did a lot of the cooking and so forth. But we would do like the bagged roasts, and I would make lasagna and all of that sort of stuff. And not very healthy foods for us, that's for sure. I really hit back at that time, put on quite a bit of weight. Anyways, good morning. I take it that it's Paul and Steve in here. I just woke up about 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, holy cow. I got to get up. I got to get moving. I wanted to see the weather forecast. I think my son and I are headed over to Albany to the big Walmart, the 2-story Walmart, before Black Friday gets here and all of the Christmas chaos and stuff. And there's also an Army-Navy store that he likes going to that I can't figure out if that's in Niskayuna or Colony, but it's near the Five Corners where the Mohawk Mall once was. Back at least 5 lifetimes ago. Over to Steve, I think, is in here, right? K1GMM, K2XAM in the group.
Yeah, K1GMM. Yeah, good morning, Kevin. And yeah, you're more my speed the way I am right now. I'm not a cook in any stretch of the imagination. Paul, geez, dude. Yeah, you killing me with that stuff. Wow. I'm a pure carnivore. I think a lot of us are. I don't know many men that are vegetarians. I know some men that over the years, over the past few decades, where, since I was a teenager, going back like 40, 45 years, 50 years now, where they were forced into being a vegetarian. It was actually really funny. When I was a kid, we had a family, the Geramontes was their last name. Big Italian family, right? And Italians are generally carnivores. They have meat along with a lot of pasta and all this other stuff. Well, he married this woman who was a vegetarian, and poor Phil, we'd catch him when he was at the house. He'd sneak all this stuff that she didn't want him to eat. It was really funny. I know you guys probably have seen that before too, where one spouse is like a vegetarian, and boy, they'll take any chance they can get to go sneak something to fulfill that that meat craving, so to speak. And she was a huge woman, and he was a huge man. Both of them tall, but very overweight, And I could never figure that out. I'm like, how the heck could he be that overweight and be and be locked into that vegetarian crap? But I know a lot of vegetarians that are overweight, so I can't quite figure that one out. Anyway, so go ahead, Paul. Yeah, you killed me on that last over, so you can put the cork in that if you want to. Like I said, my stomach's been growling for a couple hours here. K1GMM. Oh,
K1GMM. KC3CKO back. Okay. I think the reason why they were so both overweight, I think they both cheated. That's probably why. Oh my goodness! No, I couldn't do that. I like my meat too much or whatever. So, or variety. I like a variety of stuff. Oh my goodness! Plus, I like I like experimentation. So and cooking is like experimentation for me. And I've never really had anything go wrong. I pay attention to details on that. My wife has a hard time. She does a great French onion soup. She's got more patience than I, because it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to saute the onions to get them just right. And she uses a recipe out of a French cookbook, which comes out gorgeous. And then here's the trick to a really good French onion soup. I like using a sliced baguette, which I toast on both sides, rub it with drizzle it with olive oil, rub it with garlic, float that on top of it in that nice little bowl, and then cheese over the top, which you
he's still going.
Put
He's
in a
killing
broiler
me.
and make it nice.
Absolutely
nice
killing me.
and melted on top. And when you serve it, you put a little bit of
Test
cognac,
1, 2.
a couple
Testing.
tablespoons of cognac on top, and it's what a difference that makes. So much for that. So much for cooking. And I see, looking at the
Test 1,
SDR
2.
play spectrum here, it looks like maybe Chris is up on 3.875. Maybe taking check-ins for the lonely guys. I might gravitate up there and see if I can get in the queue on that one before 8 o'clock and Steve comes in. At that, gentlemen, I'll turn it back over to Peggy for one more go round. So K2XAM to get it. KC2CKO. Over.
All right, yeah, good morning. Good morning again, Paul and Steve. And you had mentioned about being a vegetarian. I used to lead a group in my church called the Be Well Group. And we had talked about all of that sort of stuff in the video series that went along with it. The issue is, if you don't eat any meat and eat completely a plant-based diet, you become stupid over the course of time, because your brain needs a certain amount of fat, and it should be good, healthy fat, which a lot of people don't end up getting. Coconut oil is one of those good sources, and avocados and certain nuts, almonds are one of those examples. There's others, but you want to have a good, healthy fat, so you need to have a certain amount of meat. And they make the suggestion that you have a lot of wild caught fish and or chicken, free range chicken, and maybe only once a week have beef, because red meat really does create a lot of problems, heart problems and so forth. But for people that just my owner's dad, he was pretty vegetarian, and he was pretty brain damaged too because of it. It was kind of sad to watch him and so forth. And I don't know, he's still alive. He lives over in the country of Turkey at this point, but he and his mom is completely lost. Just she's got either Alzheimer's or dementia really bad, and the owner's dad, these guys are in their 80s that I'm talking about. His parents are in their 80s. His dad kind of knows who everybody is and stuff, but he's been losing his mind for years. And we thought a lot of it was, I think olive oil is another one of those good fats to have. I remember him having olive oil, but he just was not having enough He liked olives, but I don't know if there was enough oil in the olives. But you need a certain amount of that. So, it was probably a good thing that your friend there was sneaking off and having things he wasn't supposed to have. Probably kept his brain in a lot better shape than maybe his wife's and so forth like that. We could get into quite the discussion about that at some point or another. But I'm probably going to just stay in here for about one more myself, and then go hit the shower, and then get in the car and head east. It's not supposed to snow today, so I think we're safe. The rain won't bother me all that much. K1 GMM, K2XAM, 7-3 there to Paul, too. And best of luck today with all of your plans.
73 for now. I'm QS wine to 3.875. Over.
Okay, maybe I'll catch you up there, Paul. I'll take a run up and give it a listen. I forgot all about that, so thanks for the reminder. Yeah, Kevin, boy, you're taking off early, off and running. Yeah, I know. We could get into a freaking hornet's nest with that whole thing. I've been looking. I'm not on a carnivore diet, but I have been doing a ton of research on what's called a carnivore diet, and you probably heard of it. I've been looking at, I can't remember the test you can have done. It's not an MRI, but they look at somehow they're able to look at your arteries around your heart and stuff like that. And it's not what we've all been told, right? The American diet that's been pushed on us by the powers that be, bunch of turds, is the reason why type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes is basically an epidemic at this point. It's a full-blown epidemic. I can't remember the statistics, but there's one in every, I don't know, dude. Don't hold. I can't remember. It's a staggering statistic. One in every certain number of people are pre-diabetic. This was like 2 years ago. I was looking at this, and high carb, bad. That's all bad. It's all sugar. And I've been looking at ties to cancer, sugar, ties to all these different diseases. And I was looking at all these studies that were done where people went in and had scans done. I can't remember the name of the scan, but people on carnivore diets, and it doesn't make any sense because it's totally contrary to everything we've been taught. But they are the healthiest people, cardiovascular wise. It's really amazing. And it triggered that when you were talking about healthy fats and stuff like that, Anyways, let me let you go. Get out of here. Nice to hear you this morning. Strapping in here as usual. And maybe catch you tomorrow or something. Have a great day, whatever you're up to. K2XAM, K1 GMM.
All right, K1 GMM. So I'll tell you really quick in a nutshell. If you can avoid anything with dairy, gluten, and sugar in it, you're doing well.
Yep.
And that doesn't leave much to eat. The other thing is that I've come to realize is the food pyramid is completely upside down. Just take it and throw it out the window. It's no good. And it was all created out of politics back in the early 70s.
Yep.
I'm 60 years old. I think you mentioned the other day that you're close to 60. I can't remember if you're 58 or 62, but I know you're in the ballpark that I am. And if you think back to when you were a kid, you were going down to your local grocery store. There was no Walmart back then. We had Kmart in Scotia Glenville, up above Schenectady, and would go to downtown Schenectady a lot as a kid and just wander. Schenectady was maybe a little bit safer in the mid to late 70s, so my mom didn't have a problem with my sister and I going down there. She'd go to a beauty parlor and so forth, typically on Fridays. So when you're off from school on Fridays, you go downtown, go to the various stores. But the point is, you take a look around back when you were a kid, And you wouldn't see very many overweight people, and usually that overweight person was a woman who had a thyroid problem. Now you look around and go, my gosh, everybody's so overweight. It's crazy. And it all comes out of the politics. It all comes out of somebody was paid off by the food manufacturers. The food manufacturers, they paid off the politicians to say, hey, this is the food pyramid. This is the plan. This is what you need to be doing. And even all the low-fat stuff that's sold, unless you're trying to lose some weight, there's no reason to eat low-fat yogurt. You might as well get some yogurt with some fat in it that has a little flavor. If you got a pen and want to write down a couple of interesting things to maybe try to find on the internet and or use DVDs on eBay, the program we were using at church was called the Daniel Plan. And if you can find, there's 4 food videos, and these were done probably 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, and some of them are on YouTube. But you look for the food videos, Daniel Plan and food videos. And another video we ended up finding was called Fathead, and it was done by this guy who actually went to McDonald's and ate every day, but he was consistent at what he ate and very picky about what he ate. He had gone to the doctor and had a physical as a baseline and got a report. And this guy then decided for a period of I can't remember how long it was, whether it was 10 weeks or 6 months or whatever it was. And then he went back to the doctor and he found that he had lost a couple pounds and his blood work came back better. And his doctor is like, well, what have you been doing? And the guy goes, I have eaten nothing but McDonald's. But he didn't go and get like a box of fries every time, I think he didn't get the super size of everything. He was, again, very careful of what he ate. And there was another DVD that we got. I think it was called Fed Up. So look for any of that stuff on the internet. Oh, and the guy that ate at McDonald's after a period of time and got healthier, well, they ended up moving out of the city that they were in and bought a farm and raised I think he had 3 daughters. It's been a while since I've seen that. Kind of lived off the farm. But again, they raised their own chickens. They raised their own meat, their own cow and so forth. And, in the Daniel Plan videos, one of the videos, there's the chip commercial where you can't eat just one. Well, everything, not just potato chips, everything is crafted in the food industry by the chemists and so forth to make everything desirable so you can't eat just one. It's just, it's crazy. And they are intentionally poisoning us to make a profit. And I don't know if it was one of us brought up in the group or it was in one of the videos. What if all of the major hospitals were owned by the same people that own the food companies, so that they're poisoning us and then we're going to the hospital and then they're, trying to keep us alive as long as possible. It's a vicious circle. So I'll hang out here for another minute, maybe for thought. If anything else, like I say, we could get into an interesting discussion here at some point or another. And I'll mention I'll be on 160 tonight, probably after 7, usually 1885 after 7 o'clock. So, Steve, I'll turn it back over to you, K1GMM, K2XAM.
Okay, K1GMM. Maybe at some point, I don't have an antenna for 160 up, unfortunately. However, I don't think it would work, to be honest with you. I've heard guys say that the ZS6 BKW, which I have up for, it is resonant down below here in the 3550 range, 3600, but it doesn't work compared to the loop. It's crap compared to the loop. But if you tie if I put in a relay and jump the two legs of the 450 together, it becomes a back-to-back Marconi L on 160. And supposedly it works well. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I don't have an antenna for 160, which sucks, dude. So maybe at some point you can recommend an antenna that would fit. I just don't know how to get one in here. I've tried an inverted L. It doesn't work for crap. I made contacts across the pond on 160 on that thing. But it was horrible on, what do you call it? Close in, NVIS ground wave. It was terrible for that. I guess it could be fixed, but you'd have to run a massive length of wire out off the top of the top corner of it, which I just don't have enough room here. The property is long, but it's very narrow. You know what I'm saying? And I did have a 160 dipole up. This was 2016, and it went from one corner, literally on the last tree at the end of the driveway by the road, all the way across the property top of the house to the opposite corner up back, and it was about 10 feet from the stone wall, which is the property boundary. So that tells you there's not a lot of room here. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. And I wrote all that stuff down, the Daniel Plan, Fathead, and it's in my notes here. So I'll go. That'll give me something to peruse. We're pretty much on the same page with all this stuff, and boy, it's a rabbit hole. I was diagnosed type 2, and I almost died. Technically, I shouldn't be here. The doctors were enraged in the emergency room, and I ended up in the emergency room in the week before Christmas of 2020. And they went out and basically ripped my wife a new you-know-what, screaming at her, saying, how could you let him get like this? But they didn't expect me to make it. It was pretty bad, dude. So I went on a deep dive. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So I have been fully immersed in the alternative. I don't know what you call it. And you're 100% correct. Their goal is to kill us all. That's what they want to do. That's if you look at what everything is set up as. But see, you have to do the digging yourself. Nobody's going to tell you this stuff. You have to get in there, and there are countless clinical studies, evidence to completely contradict everything that they've been telling us for decades. It's all there. All we have to do is look. Doctors, it's a criminal enterprise. It's literal criminal, what they're doing. And someday I really believe they're going to be held accountable. And I think that day is coming. I'm at least hopeful that it's coming, Kevin, because it's really disgusting. It's the most evil, disgusting thing I have ever. Once your eyes pop open and you see what they've been doing to us, yeah, it'll change you forever. You can't unsee it. That's the problem. K2XAM, K1GMM.
Well, I don't know that anybody's going to be held accountable. I mean, you look at the last 4 years, and that's another subject as well. It's just another movie to potentially look at is a movie called Fed Up. If you want to jot that one down. And there are more. I just can't think of them off the top of my head at this point. But yeah, so here's another actually really sad story of my ex-girlfriend got very, very overweight. And, when I was with her, we had dated on and off for 7 years. And she about earlier this year, back in January, contacted me. We've talked since she's the only woman that I, have maintained some sort of friendship with after splitting up. And she had, called me back in January and said, hey, I'm going to have my stomach sewn shut. And I said, no, don't do that. Just stop eating. I said, and we had talked over the last couple of years, and I said, look, here's what you need to eat, and you need to find these videos and stuff. And she just got so overweight, and the guy she's with now is so overweight. And so, when I was with her, she struggled with her weight. And I think the heaviest she ever was maybe 180 when I was with her. And she would start putting on weight, and I'd go, "What are you doing?" And, you need to, in her case, back when I was with her, you need to lay off the cheese. And she'd go, "Okay." And she did really well at one point. It got down to 150, would run 5K marathons. She'd always come in last place, but she was at least doing that. She had a couple of friends that were into that could win further up. I don't know any of them ever finished first, second, or third, but she was at least doing that, and she got into it for a while. But then her and I ended up splitting up, and she ended up getting with this guy that obviously didn't care about her, and she didn't, still doesn't, and neither one of them really cares about each other. They're just ended up being together. But she put on all this weight, and I hadn't seen her since the beginning of the year either. It happened, we both were in this church group, and I couldn't even look at her. She had gotten so disgustingly huge, and it was just like, and then she had called me and said, "Hey, I want to go and have this procedure." I'm like, "No, don't do that. You're going to lose the weight, but it has so many other, negative consequences down the road." And so she has done it and has lost near 100 pounds and wants to lose more. And her goal is to get to 150, but it's like, just my God. And so we went out last week on Friday, and we went, I asked her, I go, "Where do you want to go? Like, what can you even eat?" And she goes, "Well, we could go to Panera Bread." I'm like, "All right, I haven't been there in 5 years," but in talking with her, it's just like, I go, "So how'd that operation go? Like, after you had your stomach sewn shut, are you still like starving to death all the time?" And she goes, "All the time." And she goes, "But I can't eat stuff, certain stuff that I want to eat, I can't because I'll get sick." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I kind of told you that before you had it all done, that you could do this on your own. It was just about making choices of what you decide you want to eat." Anyways, I'm going to get rolling. I got to get in the shower here. Kind of hoping to get out the door maybe by, I don't know, 8:30 or something. It's about a 2.5, 3 hour ride over to Albany for us, and then back. And as far as antennas go, I don't know a lot about antennas. My antenna here, the one I'm talking on even now, is almost 160 meter antenna. It's only 244 feet long, and it really should be 260. And we cut the antenna for 260, but my yard's too small. And so we're up to the furthest tree in the front yard on one end, and the furthest tree in the backyard on the backside. And so it's 244 feet overall, and it does tune up on 160. Jamie has built antenna tuners for guys that only had an 80 meter antenna using a dipole, I think. You'd have to talk to him the next time he gets in with us. And you can get the transmitter to load up. However, they don't necessarily radiate all that well. It's kind of like a little bit better than an air dummy load, but maybe not much. As far as a loop goes, I don't have any experience with loops. I almost think that you really do need to be kind of cut to length in order for those to work. Again, these are good Jamie questions. Jamie could probably help you figure out what you needed to do antenna-wise if you really wanted to get on 160. The whole 160 thing for me is another long story, and I won't get into it here. K1GMM, and I'll say 7.3, K2XAM, I really got to sign and get moving. Great hearing you in here this morning.
Yeah, no problem there, Kevin. Get going. And yeah, thanks for all the info. Interesting story. Right when I heard that, I think they call it sewing it or stapling, stomach stapling or something like that. Right when I heard that, I thought, oh, good Lord. No, it's all, I'm living proof. I'm not going to get into my story because it's too long, but I am living proof. All I can tell you is I went to the doctor after almost dying. Basically, I was a dead man walking. I was in intensive care for a while. And went to have blood work done about 6 months later after I got out. And doctor looked at me and said, "How did you do this?" I said, "What?" I went from an unreadable A1C. It wouldn't even read it, dude. It was so high. Oh, yeah, dude. It was bad. Vomiting acid. I'm not going to go. That's all you need to know. To an A1C of about 7.5 in 6 months. And they could not figure out how I did it. And I wasn't even on insulin. I was on insulin to start with to help pull it down, get everything under control. But the problem is you can't treat, you have to treat the symptoms. You have to treat the cause, not the symptoms, and that's what doctors tell you to do. That's all I'll say on that one. And that's easy to figure out. Here, take 2 aspirin, call me in the morning. Here, take this syringe full of insulin and do this. Well, you're treating the freaking symptoms. You ain't treating the cause. Nothing will ever change. It'll actually get worse. So, I've gone, I'm not an expert and I'm not a doctor, but I have spent thousands of hours researching and employing different tactics to do this. And it is possible. It is possible. Basically, I'm in the pre-diabetic range. And, I've been there for the past 3.5 years now. So, which is quite a feat, considering if you have an A1C above 14, which I think is the threshold, it just, the thing didn't even read it. They thought I was going to drop dead right there. Anyways, we'll see you later. Have a great day. Nice to hear you, boy. It kind of creeps me out to even talk about this, so I don't really enjoy it. K2XAM, we'll see you later, man. Have a good day and a safe trip. K1GMM.
All right, well, here's the good part. We need to talk about it because this frequency has a huge listening audience in the morning, and you're not the only one that has been in that situation, and I'm not the only one that has been overweight. I unfortunately, when COVID hit, I had been eating very well, and I had lost 55 pounds. When COVID hit, everybody said, "Oh, we got to flatten the curve. We got to flatten the curve. There's going to be a lot of us die." And my son and I ended up going to Walmart, and this is no joke. We got a shopping cart and put it next to the shelf, and every little Debbie's crappy snack that was on the shelf, we piled into our cart and went and checked out. And
oh my God,
that started a real downward spiral with me. And going back to eating unhealthy. And unfortunately, I've probably gained about 25 to 30 of my pounds back. But at the same time, I am still paying a lot closer attention to what I eat and try to eat mostly a plant-based diet. I do have some salmon almost every day for lunch, because that's a high anti-inflammatory food. As long as you get a wild-caught salmon, you want to have stuff with low mercury, and you know that. And, I still go out and I'll have a Coca-Cola today. I'm going to probably end up in a sports bar in Albany, and I'll go have a Coca-Cola, and I'll have a burger and so forth. But I, generally only have a burger a week. My son, on the other hand, is extremely huge and scares the daylights out of me. He eats steak about 3 times a week. He loves steak on a barbecue grill and so forth. And I've told him, I said, look, when you turn about 50, dude, your knees are going to start hurting. Everything's going to start hurting. And but we really haven't, gotten into all of the whys and wherefores and so forth. So people need to hear it. The food pyramid's upside down. It's been paid off. It's sad. The whole insurance industry, my boss has been buying my insurance for the last 22
Hey, morning,
years.
Paul. Glad she's home.
And he said, everything changed in the last 4 or 5 years. And it's really sad insurance-wise as well. And going to the doctor is all a money-making scheme. My dad, 92, he died about 2 years ago, was 92 and a half years old. My
Man's starting to fade.
sister ended up
Lost 15
saying,
dB.
I'll spend the night with him. And she called me the next morning. I was there the night that he fell. And we knew it was just a matter of time for him, And my sister says, I'll take care of him. Well, my sister's a toothpick. I don't know if she eats. I don't know if she's vegetarian. She says, I'll take care of him. The next morning she calls me and goes, I'm having him carted off to the hospital. I can't do this. And I said, yeah, it took 3 of us yesterday, the day before, to try to lift him to get him back into bed. I said, and my son is a former firefighter, and the other guy that I was with is also a retired firefighter. I said, they were used to doing that. And I said, we couldn't get him up and put him in the bed. I said, you can't do it. So she says, I'm carting him off to the hospital. So 2 days later, she calls me. She goes, they're poking him and prodding him at the hospital. They're trying to find out what's wrong with him. And I said to her, I go, 92 and a half years old. His body's worn out. You just got to let him go. Tell him to stop poking him and prodding him. He said he never wanted to go in a nursing home and be the guy sitting in a wheelchair with drool coming out of his face. Just let him go. And she did. And I said to her afterwards, I said, all of that was all about was we're going to poke him and prod him. We're going to try to fix him. We'll keep him alive for another 6 months in a nursing home. And deplete his life savings and deplete, just run up bills. It's all about making money. I said,
Yep.
Do you get it? Do you understand? And she said, yeah, I sort of understand. No, it's what it's all about. This country is sad in more than one way. 7-3. Don't think about anything we've talked about. Go do something fun. Have a fun day. 7-3, K2XAM, disappearing.
Yeah, 7-3, Kevin. It's funny. That's too funny. Anyways, and you're right. You're right. It's 100% true. I actually captured all of this, live streamed it, including Paul. So I'm doing more of this. So interesting comment about people listening in here. It's a tough thing because a lot of people don't want to hear. And really quick, don't even come back to this. You mentioned something, and my next door neighbor, my ex next door neighbor showed up. I don't know, 2 falls ago. This guy, freaking huge, man. I don't know how much he weighs, 400 pounds, massive. His legs are bigger around than my waist. Unbelievable. I saw him and I almost fell over. And he's like, oh, and I told him he didn't even know what happened to me, right? So I told him, so I'm looking at him and he says, yeah, I just had my blood work done. Everything looks great. And kind of bragging about it, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, yep. I didn't say anything. I'm like, you are a freaking ticking time bomb, dude. Like last year, I find out, he says, oh, I had blood work done. Yeah, I got some problems. And now my knees are shot and they won't do surgery until I lose the weight. I'm like, yeah, okay. Whatever. He's the type of person you can't tell him anything. That's why I don't talk about it. Say nothing. You'll figure it out. He'll balk at you and he'll argue with you. And I don't play that game, Kevin. Figure it out on your own. You're on your own, buddy. It's all out there. If they ask, I will tell them. I'll point them in a direction. But if they don't ask, if they're the type of person that won't listen, screw it. You're on your own, pal. You'll learn one way or another. K2XAM, K1GMM. We'll see you later.
All right, one final. So the guy that Eddie's friend that lived up in Adams, New York, we had to take to Amarillo. And the guy basically wanted to go home to Amarillo. He sold his house up here, and the whole point of our trip was to get his Ford Explorer, him, a whole warehouse full of medication, and his 2 cats down to Amarillo. But it's the same guy we ended up going to Dayton with to the Ham Fest back in the spring. And every time he saw a Dunkin' Donuts, he'd look, there's a Dunkin' Donuts, we got to stop. And it's like, stop for what? This guy always wanted to get a latte. This, like, huge latte thing with, like, caramel and God only knows what. I don't even know what a latte is. I don't want to know what a latte is. And, but the guy's diabetic.
500 grams of sugar.
Dialysis 3 days a week, you know. And he's basically moving back to Amarillo so he can go and die. That's his whole point. Bought a house down there and all of this. So we're taking this guy to dialysis in Amarillo, getting him set up and everything. He had made all the arrangements beforehand. But he's wanting to go to Dunkin' Donuts. And finally I said to him, I go, dude, how many times a day do you go to Dunkin' Donuts? Because there's a Dunkin' Donuts in Adams, New York, right around the corner from his house. Oh, I go 2-3 times a day. Really? Okay. I don't say anything to him, but I say to my friend Ed, can this guy put 2 and 2 together and come up with the fact that he probably wouldn't have ended up on dialysis? Except that his wife died, and he wanted to feel good about himself, so he started going to Dunkin' Donuts and ends up getting 2 to 3 lattes a day, which I'm sure are like a container of sugar with some coffee flavoring and caramel flavoring in it.
Yep, that's about it.
I'm like, can the guy put 2 and 2 together and figure out that, you know, if he probably had not got wrapped around the axle with getting these 2 to 3 lattes a day, that maybe the guy was not overweight. You know, it's just mind-boggling to me. And so, you know, every time I have a Coca-Cola, which, you know, fortunately for me, I used to live on this stuff. Fortunately, now I don't. I think, well, how many hours or minutes or days am I shaving off of my life right now to have this Coca-Cola? That sort of thing. Or when I go and have a candy bar, which I do fairly often, you know, once or twice a week. You know, again, how much time am I shaving off here? You know, so that's how I think at this point. Anyway, 7-3. I'm going to really go away this time. K2XAM, clear signing, turning everything off. 7-3.
Yeah, 7-3, Kevin. Have a good day. We'll talk soon. K1GMM. All right, I'm going to shoot up to, let's see, see what's going up on, see if there's anything going up on 85. Somebody on 75.
Well, I don't know who's running that control there. I didn't copy the call because you're pretty weak.
Pretty weak. I don't see anybody, so. All right, shutting down for now. This is just Saturday morning.
Yeah, very good. WA1QIX here, Chris. I'm ready for the list.
Yeah, just looking at my watch, it said it's definitely time. Hey, yeah, we got to ask Mike W2NDB how much. I was going to ask him how much snow he got. I think they got hammered over there where he is. Maybe everybody can give snow reports. We had none here, but like I said, definitely had. It's up in the Litchfield Hills there. They definitely had snow up there. All right, let's see. The checksum should be 18.
I'm going to let it run.
And away we go.
I'll let it run.
AJ1G, N2LJO, WA1QZX, N1GIC, NE1S, N1VIV, K1WXY, W2NDB, N1YTN, KW1KW, that is the first 10.
Perfect, I got them.
All right, continuing on, KB1BWC, KC2CKO, possibly W2ILA, W1TKO, N1EKG, N1TZU, WA1QIX, and WA1IWQ. End of list at 18.
All right, looks good. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, we have lonely guy number 3 in here today. If he's actually here, Tom. Thank you very much, Chris. So I got 17 people. That's what you had, right?
Well, it's 17, not counting you.
I must have missed somebody. I have 17 counting me. I got the first 10, so pick it up at KC2CKO.
Yeah, well, maybe you missed KB1BWC. He was number 11, number 12, KC2CKO, W2ILA, W1TKO, W1EKG, N1TZU, WA1QIX, and WA1IWQ.
Yep, I didn't have Steve there, KB1VWC, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know I passed it, but anyhow, yeah, there we go.
All right, thank you very much, and great job on the pre-net as usual. We got kind of wet conditions up here, no snow. I saw pictures of Pennsylvania from K3FEF down there, and if it's the lonely guys, it must be 8 o'clock. We must begin on time. Calling only the lonely guys. The Lonely Guys Amplitude Modulation Network meets every Saturday morning from the time period of approximately after Labor Day to sometime in June, depending on band conditions. We usually knock off mid-June, but some years we knock off early June. Let me get a drink of water here.
Do you need water?
I have it. Thank you, sweetie. Eliza just offered to run and get me water. Isn't that nice? Sorry about that. Hopefully that'll improve the situation. Joining the net is easy. All you've got to do is check into the net, indicate to the net control station that you'd like to become a permanent member of the Lonely Guys, and we will assign you a permanent, forever, backed up, stable, more stable than the Rock of Gibraltar, if that is considered stable. List, we have 540 some people at the moment, so we keep growing. And the net has a topic each week, and seeing as Thanksgiving is next week.
No.
Isn't it?
Coming up this Thursday.
That's what I mean. That's next week. Today's Saturday. I got corrected there, but it's, no, I said the truth. It is next week on Thursday. It sounds further away than it is, but it's only 5 days away or something like that. I'd have to do the math, and it's too early in the morning for me to do that. What are you thankful for? So everybody has something to be thankful for, or multiple things to be thankful for. So what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving? And so tell us about that. We would be interested. So that's the topic of the day. And I had something else, but I don't remember what it was. So we'll have to get that later on in the net. Anyway, again, Chris, thanks for the pre-net and everybody that helped out with that. That's such an important part of the net, and it's very, very much appreciated. So let me take a pause, see if we have other check-ins for the Lonely Guys, and then we'll start right off. Do we have other check-ins? This is WA1QIX.
This is WA1MYQ.
Okay, Scott, we got you. Good to hear you. WA1MYQ down in Manchester, New Hampshire. Excellent, excellent. And Chet, your signal has remarkably improved in 2 ways since last week's Lonely Guys. Your signal is much stronger due to the antenna repairs, and your audio is absolutely so much better due to the injection of presence rise and dropping of the mud frequencies. So I just figured I'd let you know that, and I think other people are noticing it as well. So again, this is Thanksgiving is in less than a week. So what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving this coming Thanksgiving. So, Chris, right over to you, and then George, and then Dan up there in Chelmsford, Mass. AJ1G, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys.
Yeah, WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys, AJ1G. Okay, well, thankful that we're all able to get together here. Always is thankful for that. I think in the big picture of things of what really matters in life, I'm really thankful that Diane and I have had very good medical connections here with good doctors and healthcare. I went through a kind of a scare this in fact last winter in February when I was hospitalized with some prostate issues and all that, but everything is doing very well. I'm thankful I've got a good eye doctor, and my eyes are holding up, and my glaucoma situation is very low impact so far and stable. I just had a nice checkup on that. Everything else is going well. I'm thankful Diane's got good care but she's dealing with a lot with really severe arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, but we're trying to keep up with that, and it's an ongoing thing, but we just take each one day at a time, and we take joy out of each day, one day at a time, I guess is the best way to describe it. Thankful my son Dave has successfully moved down to Florida, and that went well, and his job's doing well, and they're planning. We're not going to go down there for Thanksgiving, but we're trying to get down there at some point. But we're talking to them yesterday. They have a big crowd coming in. They have a lot of friends and family down there as well, mostly on my daughter-in-law's side. They have something like 20. Well, I was counting. If we had won, it'd be like 24. But they got a big house down there. They got a lot of house for the money compared to up here, and they're looking for a good time. We'll be probably Zooming with them or FaceTiming or something with them on Thanksgiving Day. Going to son Ben's family. Thankful for how their family's doing over there. Over in Westerly, they're only like 5 miles away, and yeah, that's a big thing. Also thankful for what looks like the way the country's turned around and is heading into the future here. I'll leave it at that. Back to you, Steve. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys, AJ1G.
Yeah, very good, Chris. AJ1G, WA1QIX. Good things to be thankful for sure. And some of them are just simple things, but we take some of them for granted, like being able to see and stuff like that. But it's very, very, very important. Anyway, yeah, good comments and good to hear you, Chris. Signals are holding up so far. And thanks again for the great job on the pre-net. All right, I'm just looking to see if we have anybody far away that I want to grab up front, but right at the moment we don't have that. So we'll just keep going with the people up here in the Northeast. So N2LJO, George, go ahead.
Okay, Steve, good morning to you and everybody on the net, N2LJO. Well, I guess the first thing I have to say is my health, because if you don't have that, what else do you really have, I was actually just about a year ago, the day after Thanksgiving, I swabbed positive for COVID and got into a dark space in my mind. A few of the days I was in bed, I was convinced I was going, even though I wasn't that sick. And fortunately got over that. Then February I was in bed the entire month almost with the flu. And both of those things really hadn't happened to me before. But generally I've been very healthy, and anytime my blood pressure is taken, it's always right where it should be, and dropped some weight going to the gym and all that. So I'm thankful for my health in my 60s, and of course my wife and family. Success in business, which kind of relates to my ease of lifestyle. Since I have to work, I don't really work many hours, maybe 25 hours a week, and 80% of that is at home downstairs in my very comfortable office. Never hit any traffic on the stairs, and having some money, not overwhelmingly wealthy, but not having to worry about money, which also kind of comes out of success in business. Just got myself a nice brand new car. Thankful for that. Always been thankful for the gifts God gave me in terms of awareness and intuition and intelligence and perception, in terms of knowing what's going on and seeing when someone's bullshitting and not being taken advantage of, generally, because when you're a nice person, you still get taken advantage of. But overwhelmingly, I see some people sometimes that just don't have it together mentally, and they get pushed around and taken advantage of, and it kind of makes me sad. So I'm thankful that I've got my eyes wide open. And hobbies, number one, of course, ham radio, and then all the people I've come to know. Really more, well, not just in, let's see, how many years? 34 years, but especially in the 18, 19 years since I've been very active here on HF. After I bought this house, met a bunch of wonderful people. And I have to say, and this could be a topic just by itself, but you wouldn't do it because it's political, but I am absolutely ecstatic about the events of November 5th and November 6th. And Chris, just to pick up where you left off, which way now the country will be headed, doing a 180 from the mess we're in now. So, but that's a conversation better had at another time on another frequency with people all like in mind. So, Steve, back to you. WA1QIX and the group N2LJO.
Yeah, very good, George. Well, great things to be thankful for sure. Really. Oh, what's that out there? Hang on. Is that a duck or a loon? Check that out. See it out there? It's going that way. There's an aquatic. The loons had a baby loon this year, and they tend to hang around, too late in the fall. And eventually, what happens is the lake freezes over, and sometimes they have to be rescued because they can't. They don't have enough runway to take off. Yeah, but very good, George. Yes, you're thankful for many things, and that's a good thing. Yeah. Oh, we went under the water, and then that's a loon. Yeah. Good things to be thankful for, including ham radio. Yes, it's a great medium for experimentation and meeting people and all that stuff. All right, let's grab Dan, and then we'll have another call up here on the Lonely Guys. And after that, Chet, who's probably thankful that his new antenna's working, among other things. WA1QZX, go ahead, Dan. Are you in Florida? Or are you still up here?
Yeah, good morning, Steve and Elisa. Yeah, Steve, I'm in Florida now. I was in Jacksonville visiting family there last week. Now, I am in Winter Park, Florida. Winter Park, which is near Orlando. I took the train down from Jacksonville. That was a nice ride. Kind of a slow train. It took like 3 hours going south, but yeah, it was a pleasant ride. Now I'm here in Winter Park for the duration. Obviously, I'm operating remote. The RF is still being emitted. Is that a word? Emitted from my antenna up in Chelmsford, Massachusetts. For those that aren't familiar with my QTH. Yeah. And on the topic, well, at the moment, I'm very thankful for this hot cup of coffee I'm drinking. I'm very, I'm very thankful for this coffee because it tastes so good, and it's waking me up. So that's a good thing. No, but seriously, I'm thankful for family, and we got to visit some of them in Jacksonville, and we have some more family coming down at Christmas time to Winter Park here. You know, also Thanksgiving. Some are coming down. I guess when you get a condo in Florida, people visit you. They visit you more often in the winter. I don't know why that is. And as Chris and George mentioned, which I really don't mention too often, but I am incredibly thankful for our nation being saved in the nick of time and the new direction we're going in. I was more than concerned about that, but I have this feeling of relief. It's just amazing. And on top of all that, let's say the umbrella on top, the highest point in the hierarchy, I am thankful for God's grace. Back to you, Steve. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. This is WA1QZX.
Yeah, well, that's excellent there, Dan. WA1QZX, WA1QIX here. Very good. Good things to be thankful for. And yes, if you have a place in Florida, and this time of year it starts getting cold, people are going to come and visit you, but that's a good thing too. I think we're going to have some people coming down to visit us this winter in Florida as well, because they want to escape the cold and come on down to where it's nice and warm. Anyway, good to hear you, Dan. Excellent list of an important list of things to be thankful for. All right, let's have a quick call up here, and then we'll get right over to Chet there. Do we have more check-ins for the Lonely Guys? WA1QIX. Oh, everybody is here at the moment. All right, let's see. Chet, go ahead, and then Larry up there in Ossipee, and then Joe in Stonington. So N1GIC, go ahead.
Hello, everybody on the Lonely Guys net. It is a pleasure to say hello. What am I thankful for? Well, I'll get right to the point. I'm thankful for my family, for my life, for my friends, for my ham radio, and that's, and everything that I've got. And always want more. The inevitable, right? Human race. I need more. More of what? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. All right, guys. Yes, family, health, and I'm saddling in for the winter, getting ready. And hopefully life will be kind to me. Oh, I've got this antenna in a much better situation. Okay, guys, I'm going to keep this short. There's a long list and probably more to come. So, I wish everybody a great day. I guess we'll get some sun today, later. So, a good thing. N1GIC back to WA1QIX, one great net controller. And Chris, thank you for the pre-net.
Yeah, very good, Chad. N1GIC, WA1QIX. Yeah, your signal is so much better. It really is. It's quite good here at the moment. and I think it's going to be a lot better. The audio is improved, and the signal strength is improved with the new antenna. It's just working great. You're like the old Chet back again. So good to hear you. Thanks for being part of the net. Say hi to the wife for us, and enjoy the day. All right, let's see. Next is Larry up there, Rare DX to the next town in Ospey, New Hampshire. NE1S, go ahead.
WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys, NE1S. Okay, Steve. Yeah, strapping signal all the way from don't have too much family left, but my brother's still around, and I'm thankful for that. Thankful to be living in New Hampshire with a nice house and nice piece of property. Thankful for all my radio friends and their acquaintances, and all my music friends and their acquaintances. Even those who may disagree with me politically. And I too am thankful that the election results are what they were what they were. And it seems that I'm more hopeful than I have been in a long time that we may actually be on a path to some sanity in this country. Let's see, I'm thankful for enjoying overall good health at almost 68. I'll be 68 in January. Let's see, I'm thankful I was able to retire. It's been almost 15 years now. Next summer it'll be 15 years. I can't believe it. And as far as wanting more, I can't think of anything that I want more of except time. The days seem to go by so quickly, and I don't have enough time to do nearly everything I'd like to do in a day. So no more stuff, no more money, just more time. So I think I could go on and on with other things, but I think I hit the high points. So Steve, thanks for running the net, and we'll listen as long as we can here. I got to take off to band practice here later on in a bit. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys, NE1S.
Well, very fine there, Larry. NE1S, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. Yes, good things to be thankful for. For sure. And, well, I'm glad you got in here with us and have fun at band practice. And you and Elaine have a wonderful Thanksgiving there with family and so on. That's going to be good. And yes, we generally have quite a lot to be thankful for, I have to say. All right, let's see. Let's go over to Joe there. N1VIV. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, okay, Steve. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. I think things look copacetic with this transmitter, so I'm just going to go with it. This is N1VIV, Joe down in Stonington. Yeah, good morning. Boy, this could be a very long transmission, but I would promise I will not make it too long. Yeah, it's great. It's a great topic to consider. There's an awful lot to be grateful for. That's for sure. I guess some of the things that I often that we might take for granted are probably the things that you want to focus on the most. And I know, Steve, with your surgery and things that you've gone through in the last year or so, you might be kind of attuned to this as well. But boy, nothing more important to be grateful for than your health. Because boy, when there's difficulties in that area, it can really change your whole lifestyle and your ability to do stuff and all things like that. So I'd say I'm certainly, well, I'm going to turn 61 in a couple of weeks. In general, I'm in pretty good shape. Certainly in much better shape health-wise than I was 5 or 6 years ago. So definitely very thankful for at least moderately good health. That's for sure. And then the only other thing that really comes to mind, certainly I have so many interests in life. I'm grateful that I have a lot of diverse interests, whether it's stuff related to my work, amateur radio, music, the outdoors and sportsman activities. This time of year I am getting out in the woods and doing a lot of hunting, and man, I just feel very passionate about that. And the one thing that's maybe missing is enough time to do all that stuff. But to have I'm very thankful to have a full and diverse life. And then probably far more than maybe anything else is family. So very thankful that we're going to be bringing a whole bunch of people together around the Thanksgiving table, which Thanksgiving is absolutely, cooking Thanksgiving dinner is probably my favorite thing to do in the whole universe. I absolutely love it. Bringing folks together and cooking a big meal and sharing it with folks. It's one of my absolute favorite things to do. So I get a lot of joy out of it, and it's good. So, and then there's all kinds of other ancillary things, whether it be, things maybe heading in a better direction, hopefully, I guess, in some ways in our universe. And, we'll see how all that goes. But that's things to be thankful for as well. So let's get it back to you, Steve. I don't want to go on and on. It's great to be in here, and have a great Saturday, everybody. WA1QAX and the Lonely Guys. This is N1VIV.
N1VIV, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. And excellent. Yeah, lots to be thankful for sure. For sure there, Joe. And yeah, I like Thanksgiving. It's a nice family, scene and all that. It's always been my favorite holiday of the year for forever, since I was a child. So that continues. Anyway, great to hear you, Joe. Beautiful comments, and we'll look for you next week, and have a nice Thanksgiving there. All right, let's see. Let's grab Stess up there in Milford, Maine, and then Mike in Greene County. K1WXY. Good signal down here, Stess. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys.
Well, good morning to all the Lonely Guys. And, it's been said that everybody put all their troubles into a pile and had to take out an equal amount. Most people would be happy. Well, I'm thankful that my troubles are few. And life is good. Retired in vacation land. My wonderful wife, Beverly, who has differences, like the way that's about all I can say.
Oh, a lot to be thankful for there, Stess. K1WXY. WA1QIX. And yes, let's check something here. Okay, everything looks good. I was just making a quickie adjustment on the transmitter. Yeah, we do. We have much to be thankful for. At our age, we're still here and still doing okay. That's something else. I never thought I would live beyond 30. I mean, never really. I thought that I was not going to make it to 30 years. Oh, when I reached 30, I was like, wow, made it to 30. Amazing. So here it is, 40 years later. What are you going to do? Anyway, great to hear you, Steph. Thanks for getting in here and being part of the net. Good signal over here into central New Hampshire, by the way. All right, let's see. Let's grab Mike there, and then Glenn YTN after that. W2NDB. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Steve. Well, thank you. And thanks for running the net as always. Really good subject. Timing is impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. The reason I say that is I've been doing a lot of contemplating over the last couple of days why and how my life has turned out the way it has. And I've always kind of been a little jealous of other people that have made it in life. I never made a lot of money, but I always seem to manage to get the things that I need. And, looking back, I owned my own plane. That was gifted to me by a company I worked for. I've always had decent vehicles. But never a lot of actual liquid assets. And that's always bothered me. But things to be thankful for, I guess. I've got a roof over my head. I have more or less got my health. I have been crippled up since 95 and haven't really been able to hold a decent job since then. And, had some pitfalls lately that I don't know how I'm going to get through. But I always manage to get by. And I'm very thankful for that. So thus far. Now, I've been backed up against the wall where I thought that I'm not going to be able to make it through this. And I always manage to squeak through somehow. So I have to be thankful for that. And I'm sure there's people out there that are a lot worse shape than I am. I'm thankful for the situation that I have here with my brother. He helps me. I help him. And we manage. And that's about it. So that's what I have to be thankful for. Things could certainly be a lot worse. Back to you, Steve. And again, thanks for bringing that. Everyone, a good Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you. And this was W2NDB up in Greene County, where it is 36, snow-free, and cloudy. Everyone enjoy.
Okay, very good, Mike. You sort of faded out at the end. I wasn't sure if you turned it back to me or not. But I think you did. W2NDB, WA1QIX. Yeah, you and your brother have been sort of persisting there for a while, Mike, and it seems to be working out. Anyway, thanks for getting in here and being part of the net. And we'll look for you next week. And enjoy the day on Thanksgiving. All right, let's see. Let's see if we have more check-ins first, and then we'll pick up Glenn there, and then Brutus, and then Steve down in Falmouth. So, do we have more check-ins for the Lonely Guys? WA1QIX.
Kilo 1 Golf Mike.
All right, we got K1QAR. Getting to hear you in here, Ted. It's been quite a while. And K1GMM, Steve, over there in Mount Tabor, Vermont. Steve, according to my logbook, you haven't checked into the Lonely Guys since, let's see, the 21st of January, 2023. So, wow. Good to have you back in here in the net. And the question of the day. Well, we have Thanksgiving coming up next week, or as Eliza pointed out, in about 5 days or something like that. I'd have to look at a calendar, but it's less than 7 days away. And let's see, what is it? Sunday. It is 5 days. How do you like that? My brain just figured that out without me figuring it out. So,
test one.
What do you have to be thankful for this year and in general? So what are you thankful for? That is the question of the day. And right over to Glenn, Brutus, and then Steve VWC after that. N1YTN, go ahead. I guess Glenn stepped away from the microphone, so we'll pick up Brutus there. KW1KW, go ahead.
Steve, there was a comment.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Who has a comment?
Yes, Steve, it's WA1MIQ. I just wanted to say I'm going to be out of here by 9 o'clock. And also, if I get in here on other Saturdays, just keep in mind that that's usually my drop-dead time for getting into the net here. I do like to listen to it. Everybody is so quiet, so it's full quieting. Go ahead.
Okay, I think you're going to definitely make it before 9 there, Scott. We'll, yeah, I'm looking here. Yes, I think you'll be good. And if not, I'll make sure. Brutus, go ahead.
How's my signal and audio?
Well, it's about the same as usual. I can hear you.
Okay, about as crappy as usual. Yeah, one of these days I might surprise you. In fact, I'm getting a new Yaesu, brand new Yaesu that I'll be using remotely. So it'll be interesting to see what new antennas, of course, all that good stuff. Over at my nephew, W2WQ, by the way, will be where I'm operating in the future. And that ought to be my number one, two. Wish. Well, not wish, but expression of thankfulness is that I have a couple of fine relatives that live nearby, and one of them is my nephew-in-law, Art, W2WQ, who will be providing me with the physical radio shack that I'll be operating my own equipment in his shack remotely by my laptop in my new abode. And so I would say the thing that I'm most thankful for is my reasonably good health. Not perfectly healthy. Not ready to go out and run 5 miles or cross country. Well, I'll tell you that. You gotta be safe to do that.
This modulation's really weak.
Downhill skiing on Bunny Hill. I wouldn't be surprised if I get myself back into reasonably good shape. I could probably still ski a little bit, but it would be on Bunny Hill. So I certainly wouldn't tackle the double. The Black Diamond and the double Black Diamond trails. I'd definitely stay on Blue Square, and probably more often it'd be green circles, I believe, solid filled green circles for the novice. And anyway, let's see. So I'm thankful for reasonably good health. I'm thankful. I've already mentioned I'm thankful for fine relatives. My sister's daughter, number 2 out of 3 daughters she had no boys, 3 girls, and her number 2 girl is the one that lives up here in a nearby town. And she and her husband are the ones that are kind of taking care of me, so I'm thankful for that. I'm living in their old home, that I'll be vacating in the next few weeks, going over to assisted living. Thankful for having a fine place to move into, although it's going to nick my wallet a little bit. But I'll be lucky to have a little bit left over for maybe an ice cream cone now and then or something. I don't know. We'll see. And I do have long-term care insurance, but I think until I get in needing more nursing type care, I'm probably not going to be able to use much of that. I'm thankful for country, this great country of ours, in the world in general, although there are, what you call it, small wars going on here and there, and any minute they could want to more flare up into something much more serious. But I'm thankful that people in general are getting along together. There's definitely a notable exception. 3 or 4 different places around the world that are not getting along together very well. But I think for that, I'm thankful that we never turned into a world war yet. Okay, one last thing. I'm thankful for the outcome of November 5th. I'm thankful that we're going to have a man who's back into the White House that got his shit together. And not too old yet. It does take a hell of a lot out of you. Donald Trump aged quite a bit to turn. If he's back in, hopefully he's been in for a full 4 years. Get this country back. He does.
Dude, there's like 100 people on this net. Let's move it along. Oh my gosh.
I had invested. Now this is going all the way back to
Narcissism is a terrible thing, man.
I had invested
Holy crap.
$100,000 or so. In a reasonably good set of stuff. I
guess,
probably have
bless
3
his
to 4
heart, I guess he doesn't get
times
to talk
that.
much.
What the hell? It's only money. So, all right, back to net control. And thank you for having me in here. Everybody have a great day, and talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, Brutus. So you're going to assisted living. I didn't know that, but I guess you're going to be able to operate remote control from there. I have to hear more about that in the future there, Brutus. So that's coming up soon, very soon. But at least you can go to assisted living if you need it. That's a good thing. Anyway, good to hear you. Thanks for being part of the net today. A little bit of fade, but pretty much solid copy over here into central New Hampshire. All right, right over to Steve and then Paul out there in Saratoga, and Tom in Jamestown, Rhode Island. Hopefully still there. And Glenn, N1Y10, we called you in. So if you're there, just say I'm here, and we'll get you right in. In the meantime, KB1VWC. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, he's actually doing really well if he's headed into assisted living, because that's pretty rough.
I think Steve was just checking in and out, so I'm not surprised. All right, right over to Paul, KC2CKO. Go ahead.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, KC2CKR. Good morning to the group, and yes, a lot to be thankful for. If you just think about it, the entire planet has been created for mankind just for his pleasure, which is truly amazing. All the sights, sounds, smells, and tastes we have has been created for us, and what we have to look forward to. The promise of the end of wars, end of sickness and death, welcome back those ones we lost in death. So things to look forward to in the near future. So everybody have a great time, and we'll catch you on next week. KC2CKO, over.
Yeah, okay, very good, Paul. KC2CKO, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. Well, excellent thoughts, and thanks for getting in here with us today. And enjoy the day as well. And we'll look for you next week here on the old Lonely Guys. Okay, so Steve VWC, we called you in, so if you're there, just jump in. And N1YTN. Let's see about Lonely Guy number 3, W2ILA. Well, I know Mike is there down in Wilton. And good to hear you. You're becoming quite a regular here on the Lonely Guys, Mike, and that's a great thing. And then we'll pick up Ross EKG after that, and then Bob TZU. So W1TKO, Wilton, New Hampshire, near where I used to live in Townsend. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys.
Thanks, Steve. This is Mike, W1TKO in Wilton, New Hampshire. Good topic for today. I was really thinking about this quite a lot, and a lot of similarities with other answers people gave with health, well-being, stability, financially, and with relationships. I think in my case, I'll say the thing I'm really thankful for is back in the past, my family, my upbringing, had a real good childhood, close to my parents, close to my siblings. Got together with family a lot during the holidays, as most people do. One of the things in my case that was kind of unique was my birthday's in December, coming up soon. And my birthday was the same day as my great-grandmother's birthday, which was kind of unique. And so we would get together as an extended family, to celebrate her birthday, my birthday at the same time. Good times, special memories there, and that sense of family and getting together, and that's really important to me, and I'm really thankful for that. So I think with that, that's my answer in particular, what I'm thankful for. And earlier in the pre-net, I think it was Chris, AJ1G perhaps, was talking about solar. I'm in the same situation. I'm kind of thinking about getting solar panels. They'd be close to my antenna. I'm worried about the noise, so I'm anxious about that, and I'd love to hear whatever you all find out about solar panels. So this is Mike, W1TKO in Wilton. Back to Steve.
Yeah, very good. W1TKO, W1QIX here in the Lonely Guys. I think you really have to filter the heck out of it, but it should be possible to make it quiet if you do a lot of filtering with capacitors and high permeability ferrites and all the rest. Because I've worked with all kinds of switching stuff in the past, pretty high power. And it is possible to make them very RF quiet. I've designed a lot of that stuff, but you really have to pay attention to EMI more so than usual. So good, that's a good thing to check out. Anyway, thanks for getting in here, Mike. Excellent things to be thankful for. We'll look for you next week and enjoy your Thanksgiving. All right, W1EKG Ross, and then Bob TZU, and I'll make a couple of comments. Ross is not there. That's impossible.
I'm here. I was on the other side of the shop. Had to walk all the way around to get here. I guess the topic is what are we doing for Thanksgiving, or what are we thankful for, or something like that. I've been kind of half paying attention. Well, thankful for family, even though my family effectively would like it if I went away, I think, because I have a 180-degree opposition politically to the rest of them. But that's okay. We still love them anyways. But I don't know. They'd be just as happy if I left. But I have my ham radio family who are mostly on the same side I am. So that's all okay. But not too much else going on. We'll cook a turkey and have some pie because tomorrow's my birthday, and my son Alex is going to bake me a cake. This should be interesting. Anyways, other than that, not too much happening. Just cranking away, getting some work done, and enjoying the rain, actually. It's nice to be able to be inside with a nice cup of tea and some good ham radio conversation. Keep the time passing. That's about it from here. Back to net control. Thanks, Steve, for running the net. Have a great day, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
How old are you turning on your birthday there, Ross?
68. The big 6'8".
Oh, okay. Well, you're not too far behind me. And yes, the rain has been great. I got my rain gauge. We got 0.99 inches, just shy of an inch so far from this storm, but it's still, I can't say it's raining, but it's damp out there. It's wet. The ground is wet. All the walkways are wet, and so on and so forth. So I think we may make a full inch, which is about what the forecast predicted it was going to be. Anyway, Ross, good to hear you. Thanks for being part of that. Happy birthday and happy Thanksgiving to you. All right, right over to Bob. N1TZU. Go ahead, Bob.
Hi, man.
Yeah, did somebody have a comment?
Yeah, I forgot to mention another thing. This is KW1KW. I'm most thankful also for having a bunch of friends, ham friends, especially you guys on this net, and as well as a couple of other nets. And so I forgot to mention that, and I'm very thankful for that too. Thank you for letting me in with my final comment. 73 it all. Have a great Thanksgiving. Adios.
All right, very good, very good. Yeah, and Steve, just bear in mind that I don't have the greatest cell phone signal here, so you might hear some packet loss there. But this is N1TZU operating remote from Gray Court, South Carolina. Yeah, to be thankful for. Well, happy birthday, Ross. Happy 68. Hope you have a good one. Yeah, the list of mine could go on and on and on. Above everything, I'm thankful to Abba Father for providing how would you say, the gift of eternal life beyond this through his son Yeshua. Of course, everybody would know him as Jesus, the Christ. And very much, that's the top of the list for me. And of course, the 27 years I was blessed with Melanie. I'm in pretty good health, and also very thankful for the connection here, thanks to Steve, with all my friends here on the bands. Very much thankful for that, being able to do this traveling thing and still be connected to everyone up there, everyone around that I've chatted with for many years on the YAM band here, YAM mode, I should say. Thankful for family. Thankful for family. I still get all my 7 sisters, and of course my children and my grandchildren. I'm thankful to having a second family and home down at Camp Calaqua in High Springs, Florida. And I am thankful for the recent election and how it turned out. Hopefully America be headed in a better direction. That's what I'm hopeful for, and that more people will wake up. Wake up to there's so much to be grateful for living here in America. So, and I'm also thankful for the recent events of a wonderful young new family that bought my house there in New Hampshire. I think I've been adopted into their family. We became good friends. I think now I'm kind of like a second father and grandfather to their 4 young kids. So hopefully I'll have a good time visiting them when I get back in the spring through the summer. Maybe help them out with some projects around the house. So anyways, that's my story here, and I'm sticking to it. So anyways, it was 34 degrees here, if you can believe that, in Gray Court, South Carolina. It's now almost to 40, so it's supposed to be a pretty nice day here today. So anyways, God bless everyone. Everybody have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Thanksgiving with family and friends. So back to you there, Steve. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. This is N1TZU.
Yeah, N1TZU, WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. Great things to be thankful for there, Bob, really. And yes, you moved the phone and it improved the signal significantly. There's a little bit of packet dropout, but nothing like you were having before. So that is a good thing. Just looking at the forecast for Venice, it actually did get down to 50 degrees in Venice last night. Today at high of 70, tomorrow 74, 79, 79, 79, 79, 79. So it was a little bit of a cool snap down to 50 degrees. All the Floridians were probably shivering and shaking because that's cold for there. Anyway, good to hear you, Bob, and thanks for being part of the net. Let's see, next up is me, and I have a bunch of things to be thankful for, but I won't go on and on about it. Let's see. First of all, I'm thankful for Eliza, who's right here in the room. She was a great discovery down there in sunny Florida, so I'm truly thankful for that. But probably the biggest thing I'm thankful for is the fact that I am alive at all due to some amazing heart surgery that I had to replace my aortic valve and my aorta. I was not long for this world without that. That was a good thing, and I'm completely healthy now, out there playing competitive pickleball and running and doing anything I want. So that is something to be truly thankful for. And a lot of things had to come together for that to happen. I had to have the right doctor, and I had to have, it just kind of worked. And Eliza was a big part of my recovery. And of course, I'm thankful for my family and my children, and for God, who has been very good to me over my life. Kind of kept an eye on me, even though I wasn't always the best person in the world. But not bad either. Just typical stuff that young adults get into, but really wasn't that bad. I have to say, never got into drugs or too much alcohol consumption or highly promiscuous behavior. So that's it from here. And I'm thankful for the Lonely Guys Net and for being able to do all these experiments with high power transmitters legally. That's a lot of people say, well, why are you doing amateur radio? I said, because I can design and build transmitters and legally use them. That is a big deal. Think about that. If you couldn't do that, how many people would not be in transmitter development? How many things that we have today wouldn't exist because inventors in their homes came up with things. It's quite a lot. So the value of ham radio cannot be overemphasized. Thankful for that. All right, enough of me. Right over to Joe there, and then Scott MYQ. No, I'm going to get Scott first because he said he had to be out by 9. WA and MYQ, and then we'll grab Joe. Go ahead there, Scott. I am not in Florida. No, I'm up here in central New Hampshire. We're not doing the Florida thing until end of December.
At our church. Judy and I got involved in the Manchester Faith Baptist Church within this past year, so that is something that we're both very thankful for meeting good people of similar faith and beliefs, and that's a good thing. And we really needed it at the beginning of the year. I can't remember when it was we exactly started going. I'll have to ask her. We'll mark it on the calendar. We'll have an anniversary. They might know.
But they just had a Thanksgiving at the church on last Sunday. Judy was making a mashed potato. Everybody made something, and probably had about 50 people attending. It's not a huge church congregation, but it's cozy enough. And so that was the question there. The pastor, he brought around a little slip of paper with a Bible verse from it, and he said, I want y'all to read the Bible verse and then tell us what you're thankful for. So it went all around, and it got to Judy, and she said she was thankful for finding the church and all about that. So then they put the mic to me, and I said, I think my wife just stole my thunder. Got a good laugh on that, and then went on to mine. So yeah, it was the same sort of thing. And it's, same sort of answer, really. Church is a part of what I'm thankful for. And then there's also, I wrote down notes here, and I can't talk to me, so I was not reading this word right. Family is always at the top of the list, having brother and sister and cousins and some of that. It's so important to have in life and not be all alone. And I'm not all alone, although my family is far flung now, and my brother's the only one close enough for me to actually go visit in person. And I keep trying to do that, and he says that day after Thanksgiving would be a good day. He's going to be retiring in the summer, so maybe I'll get to go up and hang out there a little bit more then. But anyway, also health, generally health. I do have a weird thing that's been going on for a year, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, which is just generally like indigestion, but not really. It's just grumbly stomach. And I thought I looked at had an endoscopy. They found nothing really wrong, but they took out a polyp, which was precancerous, but not cancer. And after that, for about, I don't know, a month or more, nothing. I thought, we got it. It was a polyp. And the polyp came back again. 7300 on the ham radio front is something that I'm very thankful for. 10 meters with a 75-meter dipole that you have to put up there, and it does a great job on 10. I thought it would be just weak. I thought all the kilowatts and beams would be, outperforming me, and nobody would be coming back to me. But surprisingly, when I call CQ, people come back, and then people break in, and I have long strings of QSOs from one person to another. I welcome everybody. I'm a rag chewer, so 10's been a great band. Doing well too. 40 and 75, all with the same antenna. I don't seem to be able to tune the 15 one quite as well, so I haven't really played with that much. But ham radio is definitely something I'm pretty thankful for there. And like everybody else has been saying in here, the direction that the country is headed is a pleasure to me as well. I don't talk politics much on the air. I'm kind of a middle grounder anyway, so I can talk to either side and find some common ground. But I tend to lean right, but not deeply. So that was somewhat good news too. I worked the polls on that day, and that was quite an experience. I'll tell you, there's so many people registering, 650 people in my ward. I didn't have a second that I wasn't registering people. As soon as I'd get done with one, I'd put my hand up, and if nobody came over right off the bat, I'd look and see somebody scribbling stuff on a clipboard, because that's what we were handing out. They had somebody else doing that. And I would put my hands to my mouth and go, next, and they'd come up, wake up and come on over and sit down, and I'd greet them. And it was a nice day. I kind of enjoyed it. And the check for that just came in yesterday. So today, when I come back from the animal shelter, I will be depositing that check. Yeah, I'm thankful for the election in multiple ways, not just the outcome, but, working it and meeting so many good people. What was amazing was seeing how everything was.
Dude.
I will tell you that people were registering to vote
I
who'd
thought
never
this is-
voted. And that was amazing.
God.
You know, they had never voted before. Older people never voted before. Younger people, you expect that. This is older people. I would always ask them if they voted in our ward before, because that was important, and then I'd ask them if they voted anywhere before. And also, a lot of people, I'd ask them what they were declaring, you know, Republican or Democrat.
I don't know. How many
and
minutes
they'd
is
say,
he
geez, do I
going
have
for?
to tell you? I said, well, in that case, no, you're going to be in the middle. You're going to be undecided or independent, as
We
it
just
were.
don't do this
By
on a
far,
big net.
independent
I'm
was about
surprised.
80% of the
Surprised
people
people pull
registering,
this
and the
crap.
other 20% was split between Republican and Democrat, and Republican
Thought
had
he
the
wasn't gonna
edge.
do
But
politics.
in any case, that's how everything broke out. And it was just amazing how many people didn't want to talk about what side they were on. They wanted to be in the middle. So, you know what? More and more independents are swaying elections this way or that, I guess. So, I guess that's pretty much it. I will say that the band noise, usually I'm used to having people down on the band noise today. Almost everybody is on care copy. I can see the noise from whatever it is over in the industrial park. It goes buzz, buzz, buzz. But everybody is flying over it with relative ease, and I have to assume this will continue through the winter as conditions get better. I know winter conditions during the morning tend to be better and stay better longer. WA1QIX, WA1MYQ.
Very good, Scott. Excellent transmission. Many things to be thankful for sure. WA1MYQ. That was very interesting about the poll too. There's that's just interesting. I'll have to talk about that at another time. I'd be kind of curious. Your thoughts on some other things related to that. Anyway, you and Judy have, and the church thing sounds absolutely wonderful. Sounds like things are going well. Yep, the 7300's working well. You've got that beautiful flex. You got to get that sucker fired up, because the fidelity will be so much better, and you got a linear amplifier after it, so you'll have more power. So I want to see if we can have a special guest commentator here on. Eliza's right across the room, and she. I'm sure she has many things to be thankful for that she'll tell me, but she might tell the net. No? You're going to come over and say hello? Oh, here she comes. She's got her bagel. She's still a New Yorker at heart. She has to have her bagel every day. All right, right here. Here you go. This is Eliza.
Good morning, all. Well, first of all, I am thankful for good health and a good year. And
talk right into the microphone.
I'm thankful for Stephen. Yeah, this has been a beautiful year. I love the lake. I love New Hampshire. I love Florida. So we've been having a wonderful time. And I'm so wonderful to us.
Yes, the families have been good.
That's it.
That's it? No.
And I'm thankful for knowing all the guys out here and the lonely guys, too.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sweetie. All right, very good. There's our special guest commentator on the Lonely Guys this morning. All right, right over to Joe, IWQ, and then Ted, and then Steve out there in Mount Tabor. So WA and IWQ, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, very good. WA1QIX and the crews, WA1IWQ say good morning. Things to be thankful for. Definitely a wonderful life. Just thankful for this wonderful life. I have a wonderful son, a marvelous lady in my life. I've done extremely well for myself, so I've kept my health, and that's all very much things I'm thankful for. In addition, also the ham radio friends I've had known for, I've known Steve for 50 years and others, and it's just a wonderful hobby that has developed into a career for me and just brought so much pleasure and happiness to my life. And one thing, too, is, I'm very thankful to live in this wonderful country. America didn't need to be made great again. It was great. I think some of you know, did a fair amount of traveling for in my past. I got to almost 750,000 miles on United, and I traveled extensively in Europe, Asia, and South America. And that
you don't think the country is screwed up right now, dude?
For how wonderful this
Holy
place is.
crap! This
Yeah, in
place
spite
is
of
a
all,
train
it's
wreck.
it's not perfect.
Total
that's for
train
sure,
wreck.
but it is
It's
the envy of the
ridiculous.
world. And
Test 1 2 testing 1 2.
in spite of what your
Test
favorite
1
media
2.
outlet may or may not say, it's just a wonderful place. I'm so grateful that
How's your
the
sanctuary
country
cities
that,
going for you?
Has just gone through this crazy
Oh my
election
God.
cycle. The outcome wasn't what I wanted.
Pull
but
your head out of the ground, dude. Hate to
was
say
just
it.
a peaceful transition of power, sort of a bedrock of the American
Good
way.
luck with that
and,
one.
So
You have no
refreshing
idea what's
compared
coming,
to the
buddy.
criminality
No
and
idea.
chaos on last January 6th, 4 years ago. So I've got a lot to be thankful for.
He's got his head so
And
far up. as you know what, he does
hopefully
no clue as
we
to
have a
what's
wonderful
coming.
Thanksgiving holiday season
No
and
clue.
go from there. It's WA1QIX. It's WA1.
Wow. That's funny. People still asleep.
Yeah, very good, Joe. Very good indeed. WNIWQ, WA1QIX. And the Lonely Guys, yeah, we have known each other a long time. 52, 53 years? I got on the air in 71, so...
So these people are trying to push
I just
everybody into
remember
nuclear
you
war.
had a
So
neighbor
how's
or a
that
friend who
going?
was WN1PTI, and I was using the call WA1PTI. I was an undocumented individual radio operator back then, but I have since got everything in order.
That is
obviously.
that you guys is called MK Ultra.
Excellent.
He is MK Ultra to the max.
Enjoy your
And he's one of
Thanksgiving. Thanks
the
for being part of
probably
the net. All right, let's see about Ted.
2 or 3, 4% that will never ever be able to see. They just will refuse to accept it. Oh my gosh, this guy can unfortunately I can't hear.
Yep, signal's a little weak, but I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not even going to try and copy him because he's 0 here. Oh. My brain hurts after that one. I do come across people like that off and on. They'll never see it. They're lost. It's what we call lost forever.
Yeah, very good there, Ted. K1QAR, WA1QIX, and Guys. Yeah, boy. It's lucky Ted, I tell you. That was quite a fortuitous event. Thanks for getting in here and being part of the net. You and your wife enjoy a wonderful Thanksgiving. And hopefully we'll hear you soon. Nice to hear you today. Let's take a quick pause here and see if we have more check-ins for the Lonely Guys. WA1QIX.
Not tuned up. Yellow.
All right, we got you there, Tim. There are other check-ins for the net.
I'm sorry,
I could
guys.
feel there was somebody else out there. And Paul, KB1IEW, good to have you with us. Anybody else?
That completely baked my noodle. That transmission baked my noodle. So now I'm all messed up. I got to get back on
All right,
track.
we got Steve there. Good signal and not on the Slater. He's definitely home. Signal's stronger and sounds good. Anybody else lurking out there? Checking into the Lonely Guys. Well, we'll probably pick some more up in a little while. Good to have you guys in here. Let's see. The topic of the day is obviously we have Thanksgiving coming up in 5 days. So what are you thankful for this year? What are you thankful for? And what maybe are you thankful for all the time? That's an attitude of gratitude is is a very, very powerful thing in one's life. People who have that are happier and live longer and live more healthily. So it's a good thing to count your blessings and have that attitude of gratitude. So right over to Steve there in Mount Tabor, K1GMM. Good to have you. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys.
Okay, Steve, K1GMM. Here in Southwest Vermont, name is Steve, and boy, what a loaded question. Keep this short. Let me start my timer because there's a bunch of people in here. I'm thankful for second chances. I got a second chance in 2020. Almost orphaned my wife and daughter, and the ticket was in the punch slot, and the good Lord himself ripped it out and tore the ticket up for now. So it wasn't my time. So I'm very grateful for his grace, mercy, also his patience, and my salvation, which I acquired at 14 years old. I'm 60 now. Exceedingly grateful for my wife and my beautiful daughter. She's 24. She's low functioning Downs with autism, and never thought about it at the time, but she brings more joy to our lives. I can't imagine my life without her, our lives without her. Very small family. For holidays, Thanksgiving, it's just the four of us. There's really nobody left. So aside from that, so very grateful we've got something. The small things matter. That's the only thing I wanted to say. Appreciate the little things. And I think we all can find unbelievable joy and, just be so grateful for the little things. All the other stuff's going to burn up anyways. Who cares? You can be grateful for it, but it can be taken away too. I'm grateful for the hobby. This is a great hobby to exercise my mind. So this is very cool. Anyways, enough. Back to you, Steve. 7-3, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving, and hope to catch you hopefully next week at WA1QEX K1GMM.
Oh, very good, Steve. K1GMM, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. You have wonderful things to be thankful for there, Steve. And thanks for sharing them. And yes, having the Lord working in your life is very, very, very important. So I'm glad that you have that, and you recognize it, and you are thankful. So enjoy your Thanksgiving with the family. Sounds like you will. You've got a real attitude of gratitude going there, and that's a wonderful thing to hear. All right, let's see. Right over to Tim, and then Paul, and then Steve. WA1HLR. Go ahead there. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys.
Yeah, I guess everything is working. WA1QIX. And the Lonely Logs from WA1H and LR. Slowly coming to the surface. Well, what do I have to be thankful for? Well, actually many, many things. As far as the election goes, very dissatisfied, very unhappy about that, but not going to get political. No point in that. Until another time. Well, I'm thankful for a lot of things, just mostly family. My sisters and I have had still excellent relationships, and closer than we ever were, but further apart than we ever were geographically, with one in San Francisco, the other in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and a half-sister in Australia. But got together with family this past March in New Mexico. It was quite the time of rebonding, reconnecting. those are the moments I live for and I'm thankful for, and that I managed to make it out there without a plane crash or something like that. You know, the way the events that led me to acquiring this property here, which I don't have to tell anybody, it's been a great boon to our way of life. Work at what you like doing and not work at what you don't like. Well, it becomes work anyway as far as maintenance and all that kind of thing. Amateur radio, it's not a hobby, it's a service. That's what people forget. It's a service. That's how the facing is. Hobbies are something like stamps, collecting, coins. Those are hobbies. Amateur radio is far more than that. In a sense, it's a way of life. And, I've been through some health issues with the Lyme disease and all that back a number of years ago, and I'm undergoing treatments again for maybe it was never really clean. At least I'm much better than other people have had Lyme disease and been taken down pretty badly. Most of all, I'm thankful for my wife, Marcella. I do as well. Love is probably the most important thing. It keeps us both sane. Yes, it keeps us both sane. And then other things like being involved with the low power, well, soon to be higher power FM station, and been through a number of trials at the moment. No internet still. The computer crashing that ran the station, and a whole series of events that have been pulling things together more with the group of us that run the radio station. Now I'm the program director for now, so it's more responsibility, but I am thankful for and get the pleasure of, shall we say, making it into a statue of some sort. Well, I don't know what to say. You can keep going on and on and on. I'm thankful for my health, that I'm, shall we say, in many cases, in better shape than many people my age that are leaking, creaking, hobbling around on canes and crutches and wheelchairs, and here I am up and around and still getting around and able to have locomotion, shall we say. Enough of that. I'm going to be listening in here while putzing and putzing around. WA1QAX and the Lonely Logs. Everybody have a great thought. Thanksgiving from WA1H and Yellow.
Yeah, very fine there, Tim. WA1HLR, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. Yeah, you were going on and on about all the things you were thankful for. They had mentioned Marcy. I was saying, well, it's going to have to mention Marcy eventually. Of course. Yep, she's been a very good influence in your life. Very, very, very positive. So thank you, Marcy. You're listening. But yes, good things to be thankful for. Yeah, you're right about that health thing. You look around at other people your age or my age, and we're doing a lot better than a lot of them. Well, on the other hand, there's a lot of people who are, our age that are super duper healthy. I forgot to mention one thing I'm thankful for, and that's being able to play pickleball. That is a good thing. Excellent exercise and good social contacts. Anyway, Tim, that's great. Thanks for being part of the net today and getting in here. And we'll look for you next week, but obviously be talking to you before that. All right, let's see. Let's grab Paul there and then Steve TRH. KB1IAW. Go ahead.
Basically, just great good fortune. We're both healthy. Got a lovely wife, healthy kid, the grandkids. Just the basic stuff. I mean, we got a dry house, clean water. Just the simple things that a lot of people don't have. And, as everybody with my wife. So I guess that's about it. Pretty much, grateful for everything. Going back to just for everybody today. Lots of old friends. I have a great KB1IEW.
Yes, KB1IW, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. Yeah, you guys are doing okay there. I would say much to be thankful for sure. See you on Facebook and all that. It's good. Anyway, thanks for getting in here and being part of the net, and we'll look for you next week. And you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving together there, Paul. All right, let's see. W2TRH, not on the Slater. Go ahead, Steve. What happened? Is it closed today?
Oh, WA1QAX and the Lonely Guys, W2TRH. Just check things here. I haven't done this on in a while. No, I had a bad morning. Talk about what we would be thankful for. And talk about a subject that could generate some old buzzer transmissions. No, I had a bad morning health-wise. I won't go into the details in the morning, but on the air. But I didn't get to sleep at all hardly. Got up about 2:30. I've been up since then. I'm going to take a short nap, but I do have to go aboard the ship to measure something just to get it out of the way. An electrical cord for one of the old benches receivers, which I have yet to turn on. I'm just going to go down there and measure what cord I need to make it here. Bring it back next weekend. But yeah, I got up. Bad morning health-wise, just didn't do well last night or this morning, however you want to look at it. But I'm alive and well and breathing, so I'm thankful for that. But I mean, talk about things to be thankful for. I think we all have a mutually long list that we could easily add to that. Health, in my case, a wonderful wife, 2 wonderful children, other family too that are still around, it's like. I mean, my parents they're both gone now, but, just maybe focus on my mother for a moment, it's the little things, when people are gone, it's the little things you miss, and a million things about my mother and father I miss, of course, but my mom, I'll just pick out one example. And this may sound silly, but the cookies she would make, the big cookie jar in the kitchen, which was always full of cookies, even when I was 40, I stopped by the house, which I typically would do on the way home from work, and I worked Schenectady at the time. So I'd sail through Clifton Park on the way home, and I'd raid the cookie jar. Even then, at that time period, we'd end up going out somewhere anyway. Hey, guys, eat yet? Then we'd go somewhere locally, Olive Garden or some such place. Not always, but sometimes. Or I'd just stay there for dinner. You miss those little things, and it's I still do to this day, no question about it. But thankful for the gig I got. It's not exactly paying what I would like it to pay, but I'm still thankful for it. Came at the right time. It may end up working out okay. I'm still a consultant at this place. I'm supposed to be hired as a company guy, but after the first of the year, we'll see. Stay tuned. I'm not at 11, but film at 10. But it's looking likely, though. It's looking likely. But I can't beat the commute with a stick. 15 minutes to drive away the parking lot. That's it. I use 3.5 gallons of gas a week if I go nowhere else. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. But thankful for good friends here have on the air as well. No question about it. Thankful for going into Hamfest to go to where we have a lot of fun. Yes, buying things I never knew I needed and can't live without. I learned that one from Nick, KG2IR. He may not be the author, but he's the one who taught me that saying, and how true it is with all of us. Thankful for you guys being around and being healthy and whatnot. I know we all have issues and problems and things that occur, but hey, we all help support each other. There's one big, happy, motley family, no question about it. And Steve, I can speak for some other people that we hope to finally see this young woman you've been hanging out with coming up maybe the Marlboro Hamfest, definitely at Nearfest in the springtime. I understand you may be down in Florida during the winter. That's cool. I get that. But by Nearfest, we want to meet the young lady. That's right. And hello. So, but with that, like I said, I just didn't make it on the ship because just wasn't feeling great this morning. But still got to go over there and do one little quick measurement. Anyway, but again, thank you for all you guys being around too, and the help we get from one another, parts, crap, rigs, ideas, advice. Including that wonderful help desk in Skowhegan, Maine. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about you, Smith, Mr. Smith. And there's a lot of other people like that, too. Always been grateful for the help and little tips you get from people on the air here. Wonderful support you get from people. Anyway, WA1QIX and the Lola guys. W2TRH, not on the Slater, but home.
Well, I hope you feel better there, Steve. W2TRH, WA1QIX, and all that guys doesn't sound like a fun night at all. I can't stand that when that happens. Yeah, it hasn't happened in a while. Knock on wood. Thankful. But yes, much to be thankful for, including the group right here. It's really quite the thing that's developed over the past. I don't know, 25 years or so. Yes. All right. Well, we have reached the end of the list here, amazingly enough, but we've had a lot of check-ins. And some subjects are longer than others, and this one was not too long. So we had a relatively large number of people in a relatively short period of time. So let's see if we have more check-ins for the Lonely Guys, and if so, we will continue on, of course. And if not, we'll close out for the morning. So there are more check-ins for the Lonely Guys, WA1QIX.
K1, suit.
All right, we got K1 Zoot, Dave up there, Mello from Marlow, and good to hear you in here, Peter. N1PS. Who else do we have? I'm waiting for Nick. Nick always checks in right at the end there. Well, if you guys have been listening, you know the subject is about Thanksgiving, and what are you thankful for? We got Thanksgiving in 5 days. What are you thankful for? I bet we all have quite a lot. So Dave, right up to you. And Peter, good to hear you in here. Yeah, you haven't been on the Lonely Guy since February 24th, so it's been a while. But no golf today, so that's why. K1 Zoot, go ahead, Dave.
All right, very good, Steve. Thank you kindly. Well, I am thankful for this group as well as all the other contacts out in the greater, I guess, Northeast, but the world, I guess you include everybody. That keeps us connected. Appreciate having those ties. We're not totally lonely, guys, all isolated in the middle of nowhere, like places like obscure places like Marlow in the middle of nowhere. But here we are getting together on the radio, and I am indeed grateful for that. So we are back here on the hill. Up the air with some tube emissions, and going to be baking some apple something or other with apples off our own tree. We're thankful for that. So the list could get very long, Steve. So appreciate it. Keep it going around, and always enjoy to hear the AMers. K1ZS, back to you.
Well, very good, Dave. Yes, apples from your own tree. That's not too bad. K1 Zutsu, WA1 QIX, and the Lonely Guys. Yeah, it is convenient to have radio if you live in a really rural place. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have that, and you have friends and good conversations. Well, thanks for getting in here. Thanks for getting in here this morning, Dave, and we'll look for you hopefully next week. We will be back, of course, on Saturday. All right, let's see. Next up, Peter. So Peter's got more than a half a year's of stuff he's got to catch us up on, in addition to what he's thankful for. So everybody sit back and get their cup of coffee. And N1PS, go ahead.
Haven't been on the radio very much. Just a lot going on this year that has been taking a lot of my time. So, but yes, it's been a while. It has been a while. So we've had some family issues going on and stuff like that. That's taken a lot. I've been busy doing a lot of different stuff. So, did get out on the golf course. The season was all hopefully going to get back out walking the dogs here in the next few days. And kind of been the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, anyway, so yeah, it's been a while. Nice to hear the crew in here. Also, and let's see, as to the being thankful for things. Well, you know what? I'm very thankful that I stumbled upon AM 30-odd years ago. And so I'm really thankful that I ran into the great group of folks that we have here. Steve and good friends of you and Timmy. I'm thankful that Marcy's there, and Timmy isn't driving us any more crazy than more. Can you imagine the world without Marcy? Tim would be driving us really crazy. Just kidding, Tim. Just kidding. So I'm thankful for this nice transmitter that Steve designed that I built 15-odd years ago. I can't believe it was that long. The first guy I visited was Brent at W1IA, and I saw his build, and I thought, I think I can do this too. And then I met Steve. Why not? So that's and I also thankful for my golf group, which is a similar sort of thing. Well, we had about 18, but we're down to 14. So what? Oh, I have a guest. What you get on the radio? Yeah. Hi. This is Bo, my youngest dog. Came down. Yeah. What? You want to say something? Probably could hear that. He's very vocal. He's. I know. I heard you. So. Well, anyway, so I'm down here in the radio room and working on some stuff. Nice to get back in the radio. So anyway, that was a rather long one, but you haven't heard me for a while, so there. So now you've had your earful. And so that's the story there. Steve, sounds like things are going great for you. Maybe we can get together before you head south. So that being the case, we're going to send it back to Net Control. Net Control. This is N1.
PS, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. Well, you could come down here on December 7th, as we're having a birthday party for me turning 70. And there's other people coming in. Anybody in the Lonely Guys who wants to make the trip, you're absolutely welcome. It's going to be a nice get together, 1:00 in the afternoon. So good, Peter. Yeah, it's so good to hear you in here. It's been a long time. Sounds like you've been really busy with all kinds of stuff. We'll have to catch up on that, find out what's going on specifically, and we'll have a nice Thanksgiving with the family and all that. And hopefully we'll be hearing you more often now that you're not going to be out on the golf course, unless of course you go to some indoor golf course. I guess they have them, but I don't know how good they are. Probably not too good. I mean, golf is just big. It takes up room. There's virtual golf. I've seen people play that too, but you probably don't do that. Anyway, great to hear you. Thanks for being part of the net this morning, and we'll look for you soon, maybe even next Saturday. All right, we have once again reached the end of the list, so we'll see if we have more check-ins for the Lonely Guys, and if so, we'll continue on, and if not, we'll close out for the morning. So, do we have more check-ins? WA1QIX here.
Yeah, see, this thing keys up. WA1SS and a J.
Well, good morning, Wayne, WA1SSJ. Good to hear you. Do we have other check-ins? I'm waiting for Nick to come in right at the end there, so but he hasn't done it yet. Yeah, good to hear you, Wayne. I'm not on your transmitter, not for the Lonely Guys. I'm running the big rig here to have as much coverage as possible and with as good a strong a signal as possible. But I've had yours on and it's been perfect. But I have not hooked up the RF source. I'll probably be able to do that today, although Eliza has some things she wants to get done that mostly involve going to the transfer station. There was something else. Oh, yes. A couple other things we got to do, too. But, so the things about Thanksgiving, maybe you're listening. So what are you thankful for there, Wayne? And I'm sure you're thankful for a lot of stuff. Not the least of which is your long life and, generally speaking, maintaining good health. Generally speaking, but you'll get over this. You'll get beyond this little patch you're in now. WA1SSJ and the Lonely Guys, WA1QIX.
It doesn't matter anyhow. Yeah. Well, thankfully, I'm thankful for everything in my life. I can't. There's been a few things, but not many. It's just the way things are. And long life, yeah. I've escaped death so many times. And you know something. I'm not going into that. Yeah, I just wanted to come in and say howdy. No, I didn't think you were using my transmitter. Never even thought that at all. And, it is what it is. I'm not a religious person. You know that. I'm not particularly a political person either. I swing both ways on most subjects, so. So, kind of mellow in that sense. And of course, this hobby has been a important part of my life. And hooking up with Fran years ago, like you were hooking up with Eliza, it's a very important of our lives. That's for sure, to have somebody that can put up with us, and everybody knows I'm not the easiest person to put up with, so has to be somebody special, that's for sure. And this thing stayed on so far. It's a little high. Sit down. Anyhow, yeah. So that's said on that subject. Yeah, my